Hey friends, so today have it's sort of a juicy episode, but also one that hopefully you can take some tips away from. But as always, I feel like it's one that needs to be talked about, which is usually the case. And it's one that actually one of my friends requested that I talk about. So today it's all about objection handling. And this is something that I know we've all come across in some way, shape, or form. Whether you have experienced this on a call, like you get on a call with someone and when you aren't ready to invest right away, whatever the reason may be, and you hear, you know, the objection handling, and I'll go into some examples of this, or you've seen the posts about how, like, what it means if you say certain things and what people should actually be doing to handle these objections because they're not actually valid, which I'm just going to say right now is fucking bullshit. And maybe you have been through a program or worked with someone that, told you this is how you should handle objections. So I'll go over some of that because I was in a program once where one of the parts of it was sales calls and how we should handle objections. And it was terrible. I've never done it before in my life, because I thought it was awful right from then. And I never understood this and I would never do this. So I'm going to also go over what I do and give you some suggestions. And I mean, at the end of the day, what I really, really want to stress is like, you get to do whatever feels good for you. It's not about like having a script or this thing that you get from someone else. Like, that's really not what it's about. And the only time that I think that really works is like, I don't know, on like very strict sales calls where maybe you're selling for like a company, some specific thing. I don't even know what that would be, like a product or something. Like, I don't even know. But in your own business, where you are working with people and you're building relationships and you're talking to them and it's very personal, like this whole, like, here's my script for a sales call for objection handling for da 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 is bullshit. Like, we're humans talking to humans, like you're talking to another person, just talk. So, wh- what we hear, what we see are things such as this. You should be able to make a decision immediately, or you're not serious enough. Tell me if you've ever heard that. Like, what are you talking about? It is so 100% fine if you still have to think about things after you've gotten on a call with someone, after you've looked at things, if you have to give it a couple days, like that is normal. I know. Like, even when you are talking to someone and you want them to sign up for your things, yeah, we would love it. If someone's like ready to go right away, that would be awesome. But if that's not usually what happens, like people need to think about things and make sure that it's the right decision for them. And in my opinion, I think that it's respectful to allow someone to do that. Like, I really I don't get it. And it has nothing to do like the whole or you're not serious part. And I've seen this and heard it so many times, like it just so many times. And I'm like, that doesn't even like that, it doesn't make any sense. Your level of seriousness does not depend on whether you whip out your credit card on a call and pay someone immediately. Like, that's not like correlated. It's just so dumb. But it's the way that some people try to put this back on you and like blame you for these things and make you feel wrong about it and kind of like shame you into investing right away. And it's wrong and it's just dumb. Like that's not a thing. The other one, this is another one that's like all of these are weird, but this is another one that's really common. There's no reason that you should have to check with your husband, spouse, partner. You should just be able to make this decision yourself. You should not have to talk to anyone else. Because if you do, it means you are not empowered enough. Someone else has control over you. There's like all these things. That is so far from the truth. I'm going to tell you right now. And I mean, if you follow me on social media, if you listen to the podcast, I think it's fairly clear that I'm pretty independent. I would say if anyone actually wore the pants in our relationship, it would be me, but we are very equal. However, I fucking obviously talk to my husband if I'm going to spend thousands of dollars on anything. It doesn't matter what the fuck it is, whether it's a business investment or it would be whatever else. I don't know what else I would spend thousands of dollars on because it wouldn't be anything other than like my kids. When would it be myself? You know, anyways, that it is not because he has control over me. It like that is so far from the truth. And it is again a thing about respect because I can tell you right now, if he was going out and making purchases that were like thousands of dollars and just not telling me, I would be so fucking pissed off. I'd be so mad. It goes both ways. And it is just wild to me. I don't know. I mean, I don't know the situation of all of these people that are saying it, but there are so many people that say this. This was one that was actually um, an objection handling point in the program that I was in. And I was just like, what are you talking about? I'm no, I would absolutely never say to someone, no, you cannot go talk to whoever. Like, I don't give a shit if you want to talk to your cat. Like, go ahead. It's not up to me. That's the other thing. Like, it is not up to me. However, you need to make that decision. It's up to you. Like, these things are just, I don't know. There's a line where, yes, you can talk to someone about the concerns that they have around things, but then it crosses a line to where it's like you're just pushing someone to make a decision before they are ready and for like against what they're actually like just before they're ready, I guess. And that's when so dumb. The next one, this is like, oh my God. I did like a little bit because I wanted to get some more of these to see what is more relevant now because I honestly don't follow out. I don't follow a lot of people on Instagram or TikTok or anything like that. So I don't see a lot of them anywhere. Where I do see things, this is funny, is on Reddit. On Reddit, like snark pages, sometimes I will see them there. And it's interesting. And then I go check out people sometimes that way, but I also don't hang out on there a lot. So, anyways, I had to do some research for this to find out um, some things. But this was another big one. And this is like so insane. Money objections aren't real. Just flat out, like, if you get, like, if you have a money objection, either someone is like, that's not an actual thing, like you saying that something is too expensive or you can't afford it right now, or, whatever, that's not actually the issue. And it's just like, I have heard this one so many times. And I don't know. I question this a lot just with everything going on in the world, but like, what reality do these people live in? Like, that is an actual reason. Sometimes your shit is too expensive and people cannot afford it right now. And I mean, I get on calls occasionally with people and they're like, that's actually out of my budget right now. And that's fine. Sometimes what we'll do is, we'll talk about something else that might work. Or sometimes it's too expensive. They wait for a bit and, we end up working together later or not. But this, like, it's not a real objection. And this drives me nuts because this whole thing of like, you should always just be able to invest no matter what is not like, that's just not a thing. Bills exist. I don't know how many times I've said this, but it's so weird to me that I guess some people don't understand that. Like, I don't know. Like, are these people actually making that much money that like bills aren't relevant? Like, I don't get. I don't know. I don't know what the disconnect there is, but if you are feeling like something's too expensive, that may actually be a thing. Like, there is a time where it's like, yes, you may have to stretch yourself a little bit, but it doesn't mean like, oh my God, I'm stretching myself so much that I'm definitely like not going to be able to pay my mortgage or buy groceries or like, no, no, like that's no, we're not doing that. That's crazy. The next one. This like relates to the last one, but the fact you can't afford this is why you can't afford not to. Or sometimes someone actually can't afford something for real, again, because that's an actual thing. And I get it that, I invest in support. I support people obviously in their business. That's what I do. And it is something that does help a lot. But also that is, to me, that's so manipulative. Like, it crosses that line of being very manipulative. And I can't imagine like saying that to someone. I honestly can't. A lot of these, um, I couldn't say with a straight face first because I would be like, oh my God, no. Like, it would have to be like with a friend joking, and they would know that I'm joking because I would never say this to someone in real life because, oh, it's just no. Sometimes you actually can't afford it, and some of the prices are crazy. Like when we're talking about, oh, pay me, $50,000 for my mastermind. The fact you can't afford this is why you can't afford not to. Um, I can tell you right now, I can't fucking afford that. And it's not why I can't afford not to. I also don't want to do that. Like, no. So those are a few that we hear. I would love if you would message me and tell me any more that you have heard. I would love to hear it. Now, in terms of handling objections, you may have been told to do some of these things. I only have a couple. You can give me more of these. Anything that you have been advised, told, suggested, anything like that, I would love to hear it. This was one that came up. It was interesting. Um, on a video, and then I have a second one that's like, oh, that a second one. Whatever. I'll talk about it next. But the first one, don't acknowledge the objection at all. Just pretend it didn't exist, which is like, no. Anyways, but don't acknowledge the objection. Ask other questions around it. Basically, also putting it back on the other person because this is totally a them problem. Focus on the things you know that they need help with and that will make them feel guilty for not investing. And that the objection is not about. This is very common with money objections. Like, how do you think that this would help you, though, in 3 months? Like, what are you doing now? Are you doing anything that is changing your situation now? And what are you doing now to get out of the spot that you're in? Where do you see yourself in 6 months if, you keep doing the same things that you're doing now, but never acknowledging what they actually said? And one specific video that I was seeing about this was like a money objection. Like it's too much. And it was like, don't even acknowledge that. First off, like that is the worst thing that you can do is like not acknowledge what someone's actually saying to you and just like ignore that they've actually said something. Because I don't know about you, but if someone did that to me, I'd be like, I'm definitely not going to be working with you. Because that would also feel really uncomfortable. And like I was not being heard at all. And you know what I was saying? So, like, definitely not. Yeah, that it's just weird. Also, one big one that I've heard many times, this one isn't, I don't think it's so common anymore because now we're getting away from people wanting to do sales calls. And this is more one that happens like on a sales call. And people just like don't think that that's cool anymore. So they don't want to do them. It's like avoid sales calls at all costs and also be an asshole with, you know, handling objections and just make the other person feel like shit so that they buy from you, which how, I don't know who thought that was a good plan, but that's essentially like the thing. That was real blunt, but like seriously, that's essentially like what some people are doing. Anyways, this one, never leave the call without the other person paying you on the call. And this was one that in the program I was in, they were telling us to do and telling us that this was like super important. Always make sure that someone actually pays on the call. Don't leave the call without them paying. Um, give them the link, send it in the Zoom, whatever, get them to open up, put their credit card in, confirm that it's gone through, like all of the things on the call. And I was like, no, I'm never doing that. I'm not doing that. The only way that that would ever happen is if someone asked me for a link and like actually wanted to do that. But I'm not ever going to pressure someone into that. That that is such utter insanity. I just like, who made up these things? I don't know who made up this shit, but it's all a bad idea. And there is another one that's kind of the other side of this that, I have seen somewhat. And that's also if you're a or you're a bad business owner, if you get objections, because everyone should just always say yes, right? If you've done your job, you've sold well enough, you've, you know, given them all the information that they need, you have done whatever, been a miracle worker, everyone should just say yes, like immediately. No objections ever. And that means like, and I don't mean like objections just flat out saying no. I'm talking about like if you talk to someone and they're like, "Oh, this sounds great. Like just give me a couple days to think about it." That like even that as an objection, which is not that's not an objection. Just so that we make that clear, like that's literally not an objection. That's the other thing. But it's like everyone should just yes immediately. The, the amount of times that that happens is like very small, first off. So I don't know why this is even like said. Why is this made to be a thing? It's not happening. It is so much more common for people to be like, okay, give me a couple days. I need to think about it, or I need to check with my husband, or, whatever. That's so much more common. Those, and I like the other part of this and going into like what I do, I don't think of those as objections. Like this is not objections to me. That is just like normal. I don't I don't know. To me, that is normal because I think that we should allow people to do that. I think that that is totally fine. I never pressure anyone into anything on a call. I don't technically do sales calls anyways. On my strategy sessions, if someone asks or any like connection call, whatever, if someone asks about how to work with me, I will tell them. But I don't do traditional like pitching sales calls. And if someone asks how to work with me, even if they do book it for that, and I know that it is like something that they've indicated that they are interested in just hearing how to work with me, I'm not going to be like, okay, and you have to make a decision now. Or it's an objection if you don't, and like I need to handle it this way. No, it's like getting to know them, telling them about how I can help them, and like finding out about how that would work. Like, if I could help them, and actually just having a conversation. And at the end, they can decide whatever they want to do. And, if it's, I'll get back to you in a couple days, great. Or I need to talk to my husband, great. Or, you know what, I don't think I can afford this right now. Totally fine. And I will be like, why don't you come join us on Tech Help Desk? It's free, or you can stay on the email list and get tips out of my emails. Like it's never any pressure or anything where I am going to put this on the other person as, no, actually, you have a problem because you're not investing right now. That's just like not a thing. That's not a thing. And I really think that we should not be doing that. So that's where I'm at on that. And you really get to decide what you want to do in your business, how you want to do this, whether you take calls or whether you talk to people in DMs or email, whatever it is. I also go back and forth in email with people, and it's exactly the same thing. I give them options. We talk about it. And the other thing is, I allow people to ask as many questions as they want. I really don't care. You can ask me all the questions that you want about things because I want you to have all of the information before you're going to pay me money so that you know exactly what you're going to be getting out of this. This isn't like any surprise at the end, or this isn't like, no, you have to pay me first before I will answer anything. That's bullshit. It's so dumb. So, anyways, that's my thoughts on objection handling. And you can let me know what your thoughts are, what you have heard about objection handling, maybe what you have been told in terms of handling objections. And yeah, what you do with them. So, and if you are interested in booking a 30-minute free recurring revenue strategy session, which is not a sales call, I actually help you. And we combine strategy and systems and just see where you can streamline things in your business. You can do that. I will leave the link below. I'm doing 10 of them in May, and I only have about 4 spots left, I think. So if you would like to do that, you can grab your spot at the link below. I would love to connect with you. Otherwise, just message me about your thoughts and give the podcast a 5-star rating and review if you loved it. And as always, go after everything that you fucking want and be unapologetic about it.